Time for another installment in the message, just a hot mess.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.
Actor Jesse Williams has asked the family court to reduce his child support payments for his two children, claiming he can no longer continue to make the $40,000 a month child support payments ordered by the court. Now, your Jesse Williams has gone from making $6.2 million in 2019 on the show Grey's Anatomy to only making $1,668 per week on a stage play called Take Me Out. And your Jesse Williams claims that his child support payments need to be reduced because he can no longer afford to make those payments. Now, this whole situation with Jesse Williams is basically a hot mess that he basically created himself. Now, your Jesse Williams made this hot mess a couple of years ago when he won a BET award for humanitarianism, and that award went to his head. Now, your Jesse Williams believed that once he had won this BET award, he could go Hollywood and abandon the black community that he was using as a pawn to elevate his star. Because before your Jesse Williams won this BET award, he was talking about how pro black he was and talking about how he loved his black wife. But this biracial black man with the crystal blue eyes and the creamy white skin really didn't care about the black community and basically was using the black community as a springboard to elevate his career and make himself into a Hollywood star. However, after your Jesse Williams had thought he had arrived, what he did was alienate his core fan base of black women. Now, those black women who were enamored with those crystal blue eyes and that creamy white skin of Jesse Williams were seething with rage after they found out that your Jesse Williams had filed for divorce from his wife and decided to walk away from his wife and his two children. And after he shattered the fantasy of the light skinned biracial black man with crystal blue eyes and creamy white skin who would love a black woman, he then went out here and then had a relationship with Minka Kelly, a white woman. Unfortunately, when he decided to monkey branch from the black woman to the white woman, what he did was he alienated his core base of black female fans, and once he wound up alienating his core base of black female fans, what happened was your Jesse Williams rising star started to fall. Unfortunately, as your Jesse Williams star started to fall, this is where he wound up falling into the dark place known as family court. Now, your family court is a gynocentric place, and in that gynocentric place, the family court tends to side with the woman. And in the family court, because your Jesse Williams was making $6.2 million, he was made to pay $40,000 a month in child support for the two black children that he had, and he was upset about having to pay so much child support. Unfortunately, he wouldn't have had to have paid any child support at all had he just gone out here and been a black man who did right by his children. That is the point that flies over the head of your Jesse Williams, who is angry at his wife for what he believes giving himself a hard time. But the whole thing is, he created the hard time because he wanted to go out here and use black people as pawns in order to go out here and make himself into a star. But now that his star is fading and he's not making the big money, now he wants to go out here and make the black woman the villain of the story. But the real villain was your Jesse Williams, the man who created this hot mess and now he's angry talking about how his wife, a real estate agent, needs to go back to work. Well, your Jesse Williams was the one who came out here and was had no problem being supported by his wife when he was a struggling actor, and now he doesn't want to support his wife, who he gave two children, now that he's a struggling actor again. When he made the big money, he had no problem with his wife staying home, and now that she's got his two kids, he still has now he has a problem with his wife staying home. Well, the big problem was, had your Jesse Williams just stayed with his black wife, he wouldn't be in this hot mess right now. Had he not gone out here and gotten his head gassed up by a BET award and came out here and talked all this pro blackness, he wouldn't be jammed up in this situation right now, because your Jesse Williams, he was the one who came out here making the big speech talking about, oh, how he's about all of this pro black stuff, talking about how he has a black wife and talking about how much he loved black people. But now we see that all of it was truly nonsense, because he had no problem dumping that black wife in order to gain validation and approval from white Hollywood. But now that white Hollywood no longer is dealing with your Jesse Williams, now he wants to gain sympathy from those white courts, but those white courts only see him as a black man, and because they see him only as a black man, this is why they have no problem going out here and dropping the hammer on him like they have many other black men. And sadly, this is the other point that flies over your Jesse Williams' head. He doesn't understand that the courts don't really go out here and look to give mercy to a black man. So he's basically jammed himself up in a bad situation, because yes, his wife could go back to work, but the whole thing is, he created a situation where he put himself in a place where he wound up getting jammed up by his wife, because he wanted to go out here and get himself a white girl. Well, the white girl, Minka Kelly, is long gone, but the problems Jesse Williams is encountering are still ongoing. And now he's stuck in a situation where his career has stalled, because now that he no longer has that black female base, he no longer is an asset to Hollywood, and now he's dealing with all of the liabilities from going out here and trying to go out here and abandon the black community. He's now dealing with the fact that now he's got to pay lots of child support, and now he's dealing with the fact that he's not pulling the acting gigs that he used to pull. So his wife is sitting there saying he should have never left Grey's Anatomy, and maybe he should not have left Grey's Anatomy, because maybe Grey's Anatomy could have been the best he could have done. But your Jesse Williams thinks that, oh, he'll go out here and was going to get bigger roles. But the thing that I believe is the problem with your messy Jesse is, he wound up here thinking that he's bigger than what he is, and this is what led to him creating these situations where he's in a hole. The whole hot mess that your messy Jesse is in has nothing to do with his black wife. No, his black wife stayed with him when he was a struggling actor, and his black wife was the one who supported him towards getting all of that success. But your Jesse Williams did not want to stay with his black wife, nor did he want to stay with the black community. He wanted to go out here and abandon the black community the minute he gained some white acceptance, and that in and of itself is completely unethical. So all of this mess that your messy Jesse Williams is in right now is all of his own doing, and he is the one who created this hot mess, and he's the one who is now stuck in the mire of a hot mess with the family courts, with his ex-wife, and all of this is all his own fault. He's the one who decided to sit there and say, I'm gonna be a big star, I'm gonna make this big money, I'm gonna be the big shot. And his wife was trying to help him along with that career, but the whole thing is that he wanted to go out here and abandon his wife, and now he's stuck in a situation where he has to pay the price for going out here and disrespecting a black woman and disrespecting the black community. So this is all your Jesse Williams' fault, and he's sitting there hoping to gain sympathy with his crystal blue eyes and his creamy white skin, but there's no sympathy to give your Jesse Williams because your Jesse Williams made the hot mess, and he's the one who has to go out here and deal with all of this stress. But all of that stress is due to Messy Jesse making a hot mess. Messy Jesse, you done made yourself a hot mess.
You think you've seen scares? Get ready for the horror of the hyena woman.